The guns have fallen silent in the Middle East after 2 days of deadly strikes between the United States and Iran as regional mediators race to revive diplomacy and prevent another round of fighting. According to a U.S. official, Washington remains committed to negotiations with Iran, and technical talks between the two sides are continuing despite the recent escalation. Qatar has stepped up its mediation efforts, urging both the United States and Iran to honor their memorandum of understanding and continue dialogue. In a post on X, Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani said he made the appeal during a phone call with Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdullah. He also stressed the importance of protecting freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, warning that safe passage remains essential for regional security. The latest fighting has also raised fresh concerns over global energy supplies. The International Energy Agency says renewed hostilities between the United States and Iran threaten to prolong the global energy crisis and could undermine hopes of a recovery in oil markets. In its latest monthly report, the agency said the conflict continues to disrupt production and exports across the Middle East, while warning that world oil demand is on track to fall this year for the first time since 2020. The Strait of Hormuz remains at the center of those concerns. The waterway, which carried about one-fifth of the world's oil and gas supplies before the war began, continues to face security risks. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Agency has kept its threat level for the Strait of Hormuz at its highest level following the latest military escalation between Washington and Tehran. Although ship tracking data shows more liquefied natural gas tankers have resumed transiting the strait in recent days, overall shipping activity remains lower than normal. The conflict has also affected global oil markets. Oil prices rose on Friday and were on track for weekly gains after renewed US-Iran fighting disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. The latest escalation came after Iranian armed forces launched attacks on US military infrastructure in Gulf states following US strikes on Iran's southern coastal and eastern provinces. However, oil prices later pared some of those gains after Reuters reported that Qatari negotiators had traveled to Iran to meet Iranian officials in an effort to de-escalate tensions and create conditions for broader negotiations. Separately, Iranian media reported multiple explosions across southern Iran, including in the Bushehr area where one of the country's nuclear power plants is located. There is also uncertainty over who was behind the latest overnight attacks. Iranian officials said military strikes in Bushehr and Konarak were struck by what they described as enemy forces. However, the United States denied carrying out those latest attacks, leaving questions over the incidents unanswered. Meanwhile, Tehran has issued another warning to Israel. Iran's Supreme National Security Council Secretary Mohammad Baqir Zolgadar said Israel will not be spared if Iranian infrastructure is targeted. The warning comes as tensions with both the United States and Israel remain high following recent attacks. At the same time, uncertainty continues over whether negotiations between Washington and Tehran will move forward. Reports have suggested the next round of talks could take place on July 18th in Islamabad. However, recent military exchanges have complicated those prospects. Iran has accused the United States of violating the ceasefire, while Washington has revoked Iran's license to sell oil, adding further uncertainty to the diplomatic process. The latest developments also come as Iran continues to mourn the death of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iranian media reported that between 41 and 43 million people took part in the 6-day funeral ceremonies. The commander of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, Brigadier General Ahmad Wahidi, has vowed revenge against both the United States and Israel over Khamenei's killing, saying those responsible would face what he described as justice and punishment.